Hey everybody, it is Tuesday, March 17th, 2026, St. Patrick's Day in most of the Western Christian predominant world. Um, Today, we need to talk about the nature of reality. And that's a good example, St. Patrick's Day, right there. St. Patrick's Day is not something that occurs in nature, right? It's something that we've created. As human beings, we designated a religion, we designated a saint and defined a saint to this religion. And today we use it as an excuse to get crazy and drunk. Okay, it's a world we created. But we need to talk about the nature of reality. The nature of reality is that for sentient, thinking, thoughtful creatures, okay, such as us, we create our own reality. There is no reality. There are laws that govern the planet and the universe. We don't deal with that. We have to live within that, but it's not necessarily our reality. It's maybe part of it, but the reality that we have, the world that we live in right now, the world that we're experiencing, is something that humans have created on our own. We could be living in an extraordinarily different world in many ways, and it could go in many directions. And the thing that I think people need to understand about the reality we're in is that we live in a global society, human global society, that is largely engineered and gate kept by the uber wealthy and has been throughout time, really. Those who have the wealth have the power. And it's no different in the time we're in right now. Most people, including myself, we're all just pawns. We're just pawns in this whole Ponzi scheme that is human life as we know it. Now I'm doing my part. I do a job. I come on and do TikToks and YouTubes. I participate in buying things, consuming. Um, you know, I'm just like everyone else. Now, to an extent, everyone does this, but not everyone is the same. 99% of the global population of human beings are just pawns. No matter how much you don't want to be, you have to come to this conclusion at some point. You're just a pawn. Alone, you can't really do anything about this reality. The reality is engineered by a very few at the top of the global human chain. And by the top, I mean the wealthiest, the ones with the power. They have dictated how all of this goes down and have for centuries in one way or another. Millennia, really, in one way or another. But the thing is, the rest of us, 99% of us, account for way more than them. We adhere to the laws that they've created to keep people in line because obviously there are consequences to not doing that. But are those laws legitimate? Do they even make sense? Do they serve all the people in the world? Or do they serve as a means to an end for very few people in the world? Sorry, this is a little philosophical of a video. But people need to understand that the reality we're living in can be whatever we want it to be. But people need to wake up. There's something called Plato's allegory of the cave. You should look it up and look at how it relates to the world we live in. Even if the world we live in, as we know it, were to change and become some other reality, someone else's idea of how the world should function, it's still just someone's idea. Or maybe a group of people, whatever. It's still just human ideas. Everything about the world we have, even if it were just alone, if you went out to a cabin in the woods somewhere in the middle of nowhere and never saw another human being the rest of your life, your reality would be your own reality. Yes, there are factors you'd have to live within. There are laws of nature you'd have to live within. But what you make of that time is all on you. Collectively, what we make of our time as human beings is all on us. We could be doing much better. We could be doing a hell of a lot better. And there is no right or wrong answer necessarily as to how we should do it. Although the wrong answers you can pretty much figure out if there is pain and suffering. If there's pain and suffering, we're doing it wrong. And there's a lot of pain and suffering in this world. People need to wake up. That's really all I had to say today. Have a good day. Have a beer on me.